You have Borg podcast for this, the 11th day of March in 2026. Go try something different here. I wrote a short essay article, basically, opinion piece on what's happening. I'm going to read it to you as opposed to just talking off the top of my head. Let me know in the comments if you think it's actually better or worse than my normal style, but we're going to give it a try. So, to wit, I'm calling this one the old Russian proverb. As we all know, that is, and then things get worse. Iran doesn't need to win. They just don't need to lose. USA IDF absolutely require total victory or they know they are done like dinner. It went from bad to worse so fast. From the USA burning the residual street cred around the world, to Iran calling them on their crap, to holy crap, we're looking at 82nd Airborne boots on the ground perhaps, and a freaking Channel Dash, which is the World War II Kriegsmarine, I think it's Operation Cerberus, where they took the two Scharnhorst class light battleships out of France and safe to England, basically moving through restricted, highly contested waterways. The US DJT move for skippers that came yesterday to basically man up and run the strait is not going to work at all for a variety of reasons. Now, the Hounds is a band in the States that have a song called FAFO. I recommend you look at it because it's actually very pertinent to what we're dealing with right now. We're now well into the age of finding out. Last I checked, oil was this morning, it had gone down to $90. There are some estimates, including of Iran, take it for what you will, that it will be going back up to north of $120 by the end of this week. This is well into demand destruction territory for the economy. How the economy stroke plays out is anyone's guess. For now, though, our global problem, and speaking as a dude outside the mind-rotted USA, this is about to get vastly worse. Let's hope I'm all the way wrong, because all I see in the next few weeks is this. Okay, so today Trump is telling merchant tankers to run Hormuz so he can get that sweet, sweet crude. That's not happening. I cite force majeure being dropped, and Iran eagerly anticipating penny packets of U.S. destroyer escorts entering their kill zone at point-blank range. My friends, questions: how many drones do you think it takes to overwhelm 2 or 3 super high-tech Arleigh Burke-class guided missile destroyers, tied, anchored, chained to a supertanker they're escorting, which limits their mobility and their ability to engage the enemy? Answer: vastly less than Iran can make in one day over in Abdul's garage somewhere in the outskirts of Tehran with a 3D printer and a lawnmower motor. Iran didn't just shut Hormuz. They planned how to let the West fall on their own sword and do the work for them. Iran is now dictating the battle space, and USA, IDF, in rank racist hubris, walked into the trap harder than they can ever possibly understand. Iran did not want this. Iran is not a great country. Their government's not great. Their government's not great. The people are dealing with a lot of stuff. However, they planned for this. The Iranian government planned for how to fight this war, and that's a theme to which we will return. We're seeing the execution of a strategy of hybrid war being played out before our very eyes. That is, to a student of this stuff, a stunning masterclass in how to prosecute an asymmetric global strategic war, maximizing assets and denying crippling the enemy theirs. What did you see this week other than the USA and the Israeli Defense Force getting a spanking from Iran after they decided to start bombing? Both countries used negotiations, again, as cover for a sneak attack. They never wanted a deal. This war was their plan. Iran offered to kiss their feet, accept humiliation ultimately, and what happened next? USA and Israel said, well, sorry guys, that's the wrong answer we were looking for, and launched a surprise airstrike with a deliberate and consciously planned double trap on a location which had a daycare and an elementary school, and hundreds of children were killed. Hell, fire, brimstone. Now Iran and the Iranian people are rallying around the flag. They're actually rallying around their government, because in a war like this, no nation in human history has ever been able to achieve regime change with airborne weapons alone. Not even the Second World War, not even the nukes that America dropped on Japan. Most of Japan's issue was the Russians coming across the border into Manchuria. That was ultimately got them out of that war. They actually they were actually happy that the nukes happened because that gave them the excuse to get out with some face. So Iran and Israel have used the negotiations again for a sneak attack. Now we're seeing Iran is running a game plan that they've been playing out and working on for about 45 years for how to deal with the United States and Israel, and it is in fact working. Watch oil. Force majeure and shipping insurance spikes have caused by the U.S. reckless action closes the Strait of Hormuz. The minds entering the chat are merely variations on a theme. Call it geopolitical economic trolling. USA is again showing to be insanely incompetent and reactive. When Trump is telling ships masters to basically, grow a pair and run the strait, he's demonstrating that the United States has zero idea how to get out of this. Were I an Iranian sea officer, as I said yesterday, I would be doing a happy dance thinking about the incoming tonnage into my region that I could take out. USA is panicking, Israel is panicking. I have high confidence, and when they realize just how screwed they are, the Samson Directive will be discussed. That is the Israeli dedicated plan to use nuclear weapons in a massive way if they are at the end of their rope. We in Canada must understand the land to our south is no longer our friends. No matter what we say or do, they will want to kill and control us. They will do this, and then they will hug it out amongst themselves. Oh, gee, really sorry that we had to do that. We didn't really mean to do all those war crimes. We're just good guys who had to do bad things. Don't buy it. If Iran teaches us anything, it's that the United States is now the most fantastically evil threat to humanity on the planet. Canada, prep for defense, because even if it was Iran's children last week, next month it might easily be ours. USA simply does not care about their own people. I cite what's been happening in the last year in the United States, so expect no quarter from them when this mess in the Gulf goes pear-shaped and their baleful eye of Sauron is once again cast in our direction. Anyways, thoughts from the bunker, Hugh of Borg out.